Hello everybody, welcome to Royal Pushback Aftermath. I'm a little behind, however that is because I started moving my amateur studio up here and I did work really hard. So tonight we're reading The Exorcism of Annalese Micheal and Tina Brown, The Palacepapers. Before we go and settle in for cozy time and reading time, because it's 8:30, 9 o'clock on a Friday or on a Saturday, just want to show you what I did. I put up a lot of shorts. For all of you that watch Lasha Rajenko, thank you so much. This was my very first channel, and normally I can upload onto Royal Pushback Aftermath Live, and I did. But I left it too long, so I'm doing the live here. However, if you are subscribed here, all of the footage from this channel and L&L Soul Sisters are all downloaded on Royal Pushback Aftermath. So here's what I did. I promised everybody that I would put your names on the mirror, and I did. These are all the people that I have found that have subscribed. And here I moved everything up. It's a little brighter up here, so when I do a podcast, I can sit here and it's very, very comfortable. And I got all dressed up for you today. I had to take care of my mother, take care of my dog. We walked about 2 miles today. I went to the Post Bakery. Remember that song, Dates, Squares, and Sourdough Bread? Well, Micheal wasn't working that day. But anyways, I went to film there, showered, all of that. I finally got that horrible nail polish off. And here I am, ready to go. But what we're doing is we're going to snuggle up and read together. It's easier on my back. I need to save for a comfy chair. Okay. And I'm going to get a couple of throw rugs to put in here because it helps the sound. Bye, little studio. Bye. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay. Sophie, quiet. Sophie's chewing on her bone. So the reading of Annalese Micheal and the Palacepapers. Do not fear. Uh-oh. Let me get this light. Anyway, how are all of you tonight? This is what I do on a Saturday night. I read. Sometimes I dance. Sometimes I sing. And I am fixing up the basement, by the way, as far as sound, mirrors, painting, etc. And we actually rent here. And I don't know. Oh, I can't find it. I can't see. There we go. Okay. What's here? Oh, yes. doke. Oh, hi. There we go. That's better. Okay, Sophie's chewing on her bone. Oh, this is so much better. So much better. Like, you know, just to read. Does anybody remember that Desiderata and the sun from Concord in the summertime? I can't believe it's going to be summer soon. When you get older, time goes by so much faster. It really, really does. Okay, I'm putting y'all there. Okay. Whew. What an introduction. No singing or anything. Okay, so I was going to start with the Palacepapers, but I'm not going to. I really want to finish off some Annalese Micheal, okay? So we were on chapter 4, the dam breaks, and we left off at page 52. We're on page 53. If you're reading along with me, we're on page 53. And all of the Annalese Micheal videos that are on the playlist, they're all dated from newest to oldest. So if you want to start from the beginning, go to the playlist on Royal Pushback Aftermath, and it'll say the readings of Annalese Micheal, but I have to clean up the playlist tonight. All right. Okay. The EEG finding, we had to assume diagnostically that we were dealing with the disease of seizures, that is, quote, epilepsy. Dr. Schlepp took Annalese off Dilantin, since that drug had apparently not completely suppressed the epilepsy-like activity in the brain, and switched her over to Tegretol. Tegretol in the United States, a much stronger and, in its side effects, much more dangerous drug. In her interview with Dr. Schlepp, Annalese told of how she suffered from her separation from her family, the family which in Dr. Leonard's view had caused her such psychological distress that she reacted with a depressive psychosis. She also mentioned the fact that she had problems with her boyfriend, whom she could not love sufficiently. She did not report the the nauseating stenches. And remember, other people smelt that as well. Okay. Okay, so she could not love sufficiently. She did not report on the nauseating stenches. Dr. Schlepp interpreted those as, it's like olfactory of the nose, but this is psycho psychomotor seizures and considered then, as well as Annalese depression, to be a product of the epileptic patterns in the brain. Now, Annalese, of course, was much more too intelligent not to realize that she was caught between two schools of thought. To Dr. Leonard, just a minute, sorry. I have to take Sophie's bone away. It's driving me crazy and it's interrupting. Girly girl, I'm taking this away and you can chew on, you can chew, no. You can chew on the other one. Okay, that's a treat. That's a treat. That's a treat, okay? Come to bed. Come here. Come. Come here. Come here. Here. Chew on this. What's that? What's that? Chew on that one. Chew on that. Okay. You want to come up, Bobbins? You want to come up? Come on, up. Oh, I know, you're so grumpy. So grumpy. Grumpy girl. Okay. I thought I'd take the shiny thing off since I'm just all snuggled up anyway. Sophie, lie down, sweetheart. Honey, come here. Come here. Come to mommy. Come to mommy. No. Okay, she'll settle down. Sophie, go to bed. Go to bed. Sit down. Sophie. 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 Okay. All right. Come here. Just chew it down here. Sophia, here. Here, look. Here. Here's your bone. Just chew it down there. Chew it. No, chew it down there. Here. There. Here's your bone. Here. Come on, honey. Here, just chew your bone, Mom. Did I wreck it by taking it away? She'll chew it again. She'll chew again. Okay. Annalese is in a real pickle, hey? Okay. Annalese, of course, was much too intelligent not to realize that she was caught between two schools of thought. To Dr. Leonard, all her problems had a probable psychological source. For Dr. Schlepp, there was something wrong in her brain caused by who knows what. Caused by who knows what? Does that sound like any factual evidence at all? Okay. Okay. If these two, by who knows what? There was something wrong. Okay. By who knows what? Maybe by that fall she took as a child. What? Let me, my eyes focus in here. I need a new prescription. Okay, so to Dr. Leonard, all her problems had a probable psychological source. For Dr. Schlepp, there was something wrong in her brain caused by who knows what. Maybe by that fall she took as a child. Okay, she did have a fall as a child, and that can cause brain damage. Okay, so then it goes on to say, for doctor, okay, so then it goes on to say, okay, maybe by that fall she took as a child, question mark. If these two individuals could not agree, maybe one or possibly both were wrong. At any rate, she did not mention this Fratzen, which remember is ghastly faces. I can't believe I remembered that. Ghastly faces in translation from German. So if I say Fratzen, that means ghastly faces. To either of them. So she didn't mention it to either of them. Could you imagine that? Okay, I'll leave my recap till the end. Those belong to a place to which neither Dr. Lenner, with his psychoanalysis, nor Dr. Schlecht, with their single-minded interest in brainwave patterns, had any access. How tightly the clamped on her security screen is obvious. Huh. So it sounds like they were keeping a pretty close eye on her. From what those two physicians reported, Dr. Lenner, with all the details he recorded, was clearly left in the dark as to that impromptu part of Annalese's experience, and Dr. Schlecht remarked in the same letter quoted earlier that if she would have had any linking at all that something supernatural was involved, she would certainly have made note of it. Since personally, I am very much interested in such things, adding, with proper caution and in parentheses, scientifically, of course. So, I read that as there was a possibility there, but it wasn't looked into. And both doctors weren't really sure how to diagnose her. So, yeah, to me, it's getting interesting. And I know that when I read properly, people do watch these. Annalese could not hold back long from Peter. Now remember, Peter's the boyfriend that she fell in love with, but they never made love. However, although she told Dr. Lenner in his interview on December 11th that she could not be sexually stimulated, that she felt like she was castrated ice cold with little capacity for communication. She had become quite fond of him, Peter, she was talking about. He tolerated her moodiness and her depressions, which came and went unaccountably to please her. He had even started going to church again for Sunday evening mass. He sometimes took her in his rusty VW bug up the hill overlooking the city to the Kapelle, that delicate something church, like a rustic church, all in a pale lilac, pink, silver, and gray, which never failed to enchant Annalese. It sounds like she was also really interested in history. She wasn't just, I don't know if you look at Catholicism like a cult or not. That's a totally other discussion. Yeah. So, at any rate, for the longest time, she would stand in front of the statue of Brother Conrad, the saint. Okay, this is about saints. Wait a minute. The saint from Lower Bavaria with his long beard. They say when he prayed, golden bubbles would issue from his mouth. Maybe it was froth. That's me saying that. She mused. Peter was also willing to carry on a conversation about religious matters and to listen attentively to her glowing reports on San Demanio. Well, have to go there together someday after a visit to San Demanio. I always feel very good for weeks, almost free. Wait, I'm confused. Isn't the last time she went to San Demanio that she couldn't face the circle of prayers and she had her back to all of the statues and it was like a prayer circle? Lots of people go to prayer groups now, you know. And speaking of praying, I remember this girl in high school was really, really sick, and it was a Catholic school. And she wasn't there that day. It was Dennis Morris. And there must have been 200 teenagers at this mass, because in the Catholic Church it's called Mass. And the priest, they prayed for me. And do you know, it was about a week later I had the blood transfusion. Now, call that a coincidence or not, I'm not sure. And then my mother ended up working with one of the men that went to high school with this friend. Okay, hang on. Does anybody want to know what I'm drinking? Molichko. Milk. It helps you sleep. Okay. So we were talking about the visit to San Demanio, and I always feel very, very good for weeks, almost free. Free of what? Of that inner pressure I always feel, that herring, that terrible, terrible harassment that seems to be with me all the time, Peter. More she would not say, but toward the latter part of December, she finally came out with it. If it had been a happy day, wait a second. If there had been a happy day, oh, that must be an accident. That's an editing error. Trevor, I found another editing error. Okay, so the latter part of December, there were Advent celebrations everywhere. Remember the Ferdinandum school smelled of fresh fir greenery, of burning beeswax candles. That must have smelled really good. And Winter Wind was playing tag with some spare snowflakes inside. I like the way she wrote that. I really like the way she wrote that. Ferdinand smelt of fresh fir greenery and burning beeswax candles. And winter fresh air, fir greenery, and burning beeswax, and wind was playing tag with some spare snowflakes outside. I love that. Annalese was humming a Christmas tune about Mary and Joseph and their babe as she and Peter walked toward the kitchenette. "You are feeling all right today?" Peter said in a tone that was more like a question. So they would be talking like, you are feeling. People don't talk like that. They translated this from German. So, "You are okay today?" It would be like, you know, how are you feeling? Okay. Are you okay today? Not, "You okay today?" That's in True Detective, the writer takes a lot of words out like that, just as an example of writing and screenwriting. Annalese looked up. Annalese looked up from the tea egg she was filling. They were alone. Yes, perhaps it was a good thing that Dr. Schlepp changed the medication from Diltatin to that other drug she gave me. That's right. Tegretol. Okay, so the Tegretol is the one that works. Tegretol. That's the working one. But it still does not do anything about other problems. I was going to say ghastly faces. Other problems? What other problems? Those other problems, like the horrid stenches. For instance, it was the first time Peter heard about the stenches, and the torment they were causing for her. Please explain. I could just see him, I could see somebody, I don't know, I could envision this acting. And actually, in the movie, Jennifer Carpenter and the gentleman that played Jason, they did a really, really good job. Okay. Please explain, he said. They were going back to her room, carrying teapot and cups. Ursula, that was one of her friends, and Kara. Ursula and Kara are her friends. Ursula was not in, so they could talk at ease. Annalese told him how her family could also smell them, not only she. That they came up suddenly, smelling like something burning, like feces, rotting eggs, like dung, all manner of nasty, evil things, without any visible source at all. Couldn't you open a window? Oh, Peter, don't you think we tried? That doesn't help. Not at all. Like, the stench comes up, and then sometimes days later, I don't smell it anymore. But at any rate, it's awful. Peter thought he finally understood. And you are saying that this is what causes your depression? No. I am not saying that. The depression appear together with the stench and with those terrifying faces. You mean you are also hallucinating? I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure that I know what hallucinations are exactly. All of a sudden, they're there, those frozen, something like devils, It makes no difference. I may be doing something in class or at home. I'll be doing something at a time. Usually, I am not thinking of something entirely different, completely unrelated. I don't describe them. I don't think. I think I want to. They are the most frightening things imaginable. Wow. Peter shrugged some plausible explanations. Okay, so he's playing angel's advocate. Angel's advocate. She's lucky that she met a friend named Peter. Peter suggested some plausible explanations. She was imagining them. It was not my imagination. Sometimes they are not very clear, like shadows, but most of the time they are completely real. I see them like I see you. She had been taught some exaggerated ideas about the devil in religion class. Okay, not at all. We were told about Satan's existence and his designs on people's souls, but that was about it. Maybe he hated her parents and had a bad conscience about it. Du spinst wool. You must be nuts. Du spinst SPINNSTWOHL. You must be nuts. My parents are nice people, difficult sometimes, but nice. I love them. Otherwise, why would I be homesick for them if I didn't love them? Why would I go home every weekend? How about too much thinking about sin? No, that wasn't it. Of course, humans fell into sin all the time, but you could always go to confession and make things right with God again. Are you finished? Oh, sorry. Are you finished? She smiled. I could feel that feeling like, are you finished? Okay. I'll think of something tomorrow, he laughed back. There is still more. I didn't think I have any more good answers in stock. That's all right. Just listen. The bad part is that when all of these things happen, my control over myself is gone. Annalese, my real self, that is, sits in a hole inside of myself and has nothing to say about anything. I, the visible Annalese, do everything as if something or somebody else were giving the orders. I struggle against the loss of violation with all my might, but I always lose. Then why struggle? If I didn't, that would mean I would be giving up on myself. I'm going to have to stop at page 56, close down this live, and I will read the Palacepapers tomorrow, because you know what? Every time I read Annalese Micheal, the dog goes nuts. The Palacepaper is an easy read, and I did read Kryptonite on the Palacepapers on Royal Push Aftermath after on the playlist. I started reading it about 6 months ago, but I got overwhelmed. But now, the more practice, the better you get. So, thank you so much. And I do follow up on me wed. Thank you. And have a great night. Keep care of yourselves. I'll do the same. And I'll put up my agenda for tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow. The Palacepapers is actually a really, really, really good book. And it is going back to the future, because now when I read kryptonite, we can debunk everything line by line. And the language is easier to read. This is a more complicated read. And because it was translated, it's not real fluent, if that makes any sense. I'm sure in German it is, but yeah, at any rate, I don't know anything about linguistics or challenges or languages. The royal family, do you know that all of them speak 5 different languages? Vietnamese, Chinese, Italian, Spanish, English. I know they speak a lot of Asian, Vietnamese, English, probably French, and probably Spanish. Spanish or Italian. Okay. Go to Brittany at the Royal News Network if you want royal updates right away, because she's amazing. She really is. Okay, bye everybody. Sophie has to leave, so do I. She's the boss. I'm coming, sweetie. I'm coming.